Yeah. Yep.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Gap Network show. Larry, we had to pull the plug, unfortunately, on our face-to-face meeting that we actually wanted to do, but we thought, look, let's just jump on and do, I guess, a short version of our Gap Network show and some of the things that we will be doing on the 20th of April. So just so you're aware, the 20th of April actually be our first live proper face-to-face one that we're doing on the Gold Coast here, but then we'll also be doing stuff online as well. And so we're actually really excited about doing that on the 20th of April. Mind you, we were quite excited about doing tonight until COVID lockdowns came along, and here we are again online.
Yeah. Well, we can't say we're not used to it, so
Yes, you're quite right. You're quite right about that. But anyway, it's good to have you on, mate. And we've got a special guest coming on very, very shortly as well to join us. And his name is Scott. We'll be talking to him and we'll be explaining all about Scotty in a little while. But hey, before we get into any of that tonight, Larry, I know that you have got some questions that you've got out there that we want to ask those that are watching. We've already got a whole bunch of people already watching us. Thank you so much for joining us. It's great to have you on board. But we're going to be asking some questions. Now, and this is kind of an impromptu thing, if you do get the questions right and you do put the comments through and you get it right and we see it later, please put your answer to your question and your email address with it so we can get to you. We'd love to get a prize to you. We've got a prize I've got a very, very good stapler here. I'm just kidding. We'll have a prize of some of our great products that we've got through Gap Coaching that we would like to bless you with. So, but anyway, Larry, this is it. No, in all seriousness, we'd love to actually give you a prize for getting numbers of questions right. So if you're watching with us this afternoon, you'd like to win some prizes. Yeah. Larry starting off with the coaching game. And by the way, if you've got any questions for Larry down the track, we would love for you to actually send them through about business, about life, anything relating to, questions you might have. How do we deal with cash flow? How do we get our business to take it to the next level? And those kind of questions. Or you might have questions around, hey, look, I'm really struggling with life at the moment. Any of those kinds of questions, we're more than happy to look at. We've got some great courses, some great reboots that we've got on relationships and other things that we know we can help you with. And we might even give you a prize of one of those as well. How about that?
Well, Sandy, as always, I'm going to mess with people's heads tonight, which is
yes. Oh my gosh, here we go.
If you're new to the Gap Coaching Network, welcome. Thanks for coming on board. We're here to have fun, at the same time get out there and give you some information that will make you feel a lot better than before you come on. And by the time you'll have you thinking about stuff. So that's what we want to do. And we normally have some brain teasers that we do. Just get your mind thinking before we get into well, we won't say serious, but information that we want to give you, to you, and challenge you at the same time. So how about, Sandy, I've got some brain teasers, as I always do.
Oh, as you do.
There's three of them. So they've got, let's say in the next half an hour to come up with the three answers, and I'll give them the three answers at the end of the show. How's that?
There you go. At the end of the show.
Oh, yeah.
All righty. Okay, then. Okay.
To think about them, because some of them seem obvious and others they may not. So I'll move along due to our time restraints tonight, but I'll move along. Okay, number one.
Go, please.
What has a mouth but cannot eat, moves but has no legs, has a bank but can't put any money into it? That's number one.
All right. Say that again. So just give us that one again. Come on, be fair. Give everyone a go. Everyone a go. We've got a bunch more people just come on board just now.
Excellent. All right. What has a mouth but cannot eat, moves but have no legs, has a bank but cannot put any money in it?
Can't put any money in it.
That's number one.
Okay, that's number one. All righty.
Number two.
I don't know about that one. All right.
All right. Number two. Arnold Schwarzenegger has a long one.
Yes.
All right. Michael J. Fox has a short one.
Yes.
Madonna does not use hers at all.
I think I know the answer to this.
Donald Trump uses his, but the Pope never uses his.
Well, there you go. No, I think I've got that one. I
Yeah,
think
right.
I've worked that one out. But that's good. That's good. I'm not going to tell anybody, but I think I've worked that one out. We've actually got an answer for your first one already.
All right. Well,
Someone's
that's good.
popped up an answer, which is great. But we'll wait to that actually looks maybe it's the same person's put up the, and I think the second I think they've got the second one correct, but I'm not saying anymore. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, someone else has put up. I think a correct answer for the second one as well, but we've only got one answer for the first one so far.
All right, okay. That's if they get the three of them, mate, we'll give them a prize. But we'll just congratulate you.
Yeah. We'll say you well done, good on you for thinking for a change.
Here's a third one.
All right, keep going.
Right. When I'm young, I'm sweet. When I'm middle-aged, it makes me happy.
Right.
And when I'm old, I'm more valued.
Oh. Gobstopper?
No answers. Come on,
Oh, sorry, well, I'll just have a guess. Have a go. Okay. All right. Okay. So say that one again, just one more time. When you're young.
When you're young, I am sweet.
Yes.
When I'm middle-aged, it makes me happy.
Yes.
When I'm old, I'm more valued.
Right. Okay.
That's going to a lot of people's heads.
Yeah, so, I think that is. So that's it. That's great. Okay, so those are the three questions we've got. So the first question was just go over that one quickly again, just for those that have just joined us very quickly, just to give everyone a really good opportunity to go at it.
Yeah, everyone gets a chance because we want everybody to have a chance, of course.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so first question.
What has a mouth but cannot eat? Moves but has no legs. Has a bank but cannot put any money into it.
Right. Okay. All righty. Yep. All right. The second one.
Number 2. Arnold Schwarzenegger has one.
Yep.
Michael J. Fox has a short one.
Yep.
Madonna does not use hers.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump uses his.
Yep.
The Pope never uses his.
Right. There you go. And then the last one was?
Beautiful last.
Yep,
when I'm middle-aged, it makes me happy. When I'm old, I'm more valued.
Right. Okay. Wow. Okay. So I think I've got number 2 sorted out. There's a couple other people. It looks like they've sorted out number 2, and I think number 1 has been sorted out by somebody.
All right.
But we haven't got anybody for the last question yet.
Wow. Okay. Well, guess what? If you don't get the 3, we're showing the prize, Sandy. Get that stapler.
Yeah, you got to get that 3. So you got to get that third one in. Everybody's got to get in for that third one. We're looking forward to having you on board to do that. That's fantastic, Larry. So there are 3 tongue twisters or mind twisters or whatever else you want to call them.
Yeah. Okay.
And listen, don't forget, if you have any coaching questions, as the sign says up there, we are going to get you answers to the coaching game answers, and we're looking forward to being able to do that in due course, which is great. And you'll also notice that down the bottom there on our screen tonight, we've also got our first face-to-face meeting, which was supposed to be tonight. As I mentioned earlier when we first came on, unfortunately had to be postponed due to COVID lockdowns for a number of people. So unfortunately, we couldn't run it tonight, which is a shame. But we have actually planned for it to be on the 20th of the 4th. Or the 30th, sorry, excuse me, 20th of the 4th, which is a Tuesday night. Again, we had it a Tuesday night previously. Look, I can tell you now that we've actually we had a whole heap of people coming to this one. And it was, we were pretty much full up for that one. Like, I think we probably had room for 1 or 2 more people, and that would have been it for this one. We've got a list of people already who were wanting to come to the second one. So it's kind of going to be a little bit first in, best dressed for the 20th of the 4th, to be honest. Really excited, by the way, really excited, about what's actually coming up. We've got an incredible 20th of the 4th meeting to have. Tell us a little bit about that, Larry. What's actually coming up on that one, just to quickly run through that, if you don't mind.
All right. Well, the coaching game itself, we're going to be talking about. It's about upskilling. It's upskilling you in different areas. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of examples. This doesn't mean that they won't be covered. Doesn't mean that they will be covered. I'm just giving you examples to throw you tonight. Okay. Examples could be something like trust, ethics, worry, expectation, and challenges. Now, I've given you just a couple of subjects out of hundreds. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll go on about. I'll start with, let's look at the challenges, right? Now, let's say both in business and or personal. So what we would do, we get someone that would come in, we'd talk about what they have in their own business, but everybody in business, or personal, do have challenges, and that's why I've just touched on this tonight, so that you can get a bit of a feel for what we want to do. We want to help people, we want to help business, we want to help people. That's what Gap Network is all about, and Gap Coaching, why it's here, to help everybody. So, okay, look at challenges, as I said, both in business and personal. Now, because let's be honest here, testing time gives us an opportunity. A lot of people don't think that way, because you know why? Everybody has challenges in testing, in one way or another, and that's a fact. So at Gap Coaching, we have a quote: "It's not what happens to you; it's how you handle it."
Yeah, anyway, that's it. Yeah,
very true. And people go, "Oh, I'm sick of hearing your attitude about the but." If you're looking at challenges, you have to look at also your attitude, because sometimes the biggest challenge in life, you need to change your attitude.
Yes.
And
that's
it. A challenge.
Yes, it can be a very big challenge. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So what I'm trying to get to you today is, particularly if you have anything that you know that you're having a challenge is, put a comment in. Put a comment in. I'm having a challenge in this area, right? And what we'll endeavour to do is get back to you, right, in a period of time. We won't give you exacts on it, because what we'll do is we'll put the questions to our advisory team at the Gap Coaching. And we'll get back to you as soon as we can with an answer. It might be a 1-step, a 2-step, a 3-step answer. It may be a sentence or an affirmation of something that you need to get cemented in your mind, or some, let's say, some steps that you might need to put into place for a period of time to make things happen for you. So you can email us at asklarry@. All right.
Yes,
so
asklarry@.
Before you put
spell that out for us. So ASKLARRYAT. Is that it?
That's it. And then the @ gmail.com.
That's it. So asklarry@gmail.com.
You've got a double @ you've got an @ spelled out and an @ sign.
Yeah, so that's it. asklarry@.
I'd love to make it easier, Sandy, but apparently Gmail, well, it's only because we're part of Gap Coaching. It's worldwide now. There's people with Gmail accounts for Gap Coaching everywhere. Ask this person, and I could only ask Larry @ I couldn't get asked Sandy @ or anybody else @ so anyway, that is it. Just cement that in your mind. Ask Larry @ before you put the @ sign, gmail.com. And we'll also, we're discussing it with my dear friend Sandy, of course. By the time we get to our show on the 20th, we'll have the anonymous feedback of those questions. But we'll give a reply to everyone that is prepared to put a private message to us, send us an email. We're only so happy to hear, because that's what we're here for, to give you some information, but also assist you, guide you along the way, because we all got a life journeys together. And we like to think we can do it better in unity than being separated.
That's it. That's exactly it. Now, let me just go on. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, back to you. Thank you. It's all good.
No, that's great. Thank you. And look, one of the, just to let you know again a little bit more about what's coming up on the 20th of April. Again, get your name in very, very quickly to us through sandy@gapcoaching.com.au. That's where you'll actually need to go, or you can go to this one, which I'm putting up right now. You can go there, which is gapcoaching.com.au, contact-us, to send us your questions or anything else we can help you with, or actually get you through to that, because that'll go through to the same address sandy@gapcoaching.com.au. It'll actually get through to me either way. So we would love for you to be a part of that first live. And I tell you what, where we're having it is just phenomenal, isn't it?
Oh,
Like,
yes.
it's such an amazing spot. Very, very different to anything perhaps you've ever been to. I think you'll really, really enjoy being there and being a part of that on the 20th of the 4th. And we'll be starting at 5 p.m. with food and beverages and all that kind of stuff. And the other thing that you'll be having on the 20th of the 4th will be we're going to have some live music as well, which is going to be fantastic. We've got some great people on board to actually do some live music with us. And a few surprises, which I'm not really prepared to talk about, because I'd love to actually leave a few things as a surprise.
Can I book my seat now? Can you hold a seat for me?
No. You'll have to stand.
All right.
Standing room only, Larry. Sorry, mate. It's staff privilege to stand.
Thank you.
We'll give you a seat, mate. It's all good. It's all good. Look, we just waiting for our special guest to join us very, very shortly. We just wanted to actually get into the coaching game and tell you a little bit about stuff first anyway. And tonight, as we do close off, as we finish up, we're actually going to start off our monthly challenge, Larry. Now, our monthly challenge is, how can you make a difference this month in someone's life? All right, for those of you that are watching, how can you make a difference in this month in someone's life? Now, here's another opportunity, I think, for a prize. Because if you can come up with a really unique way of doing something really amazing for people,
that's good.
I think this would be a great opportunity to actually just bless you with a really, really good prize. Again, one of our programs we'd love to get into your hands. And by the way, these programs are not like El Cheapos, by the way. These are well-tested, liked, well-loved, and well-used programs that we've had in the past that have been used by many, many people. And really helped a lot of folks in relationships, in getting back on track with work and various other things. So these are great prizes, and if you ever look on our website, you'll see that we value them highly because of the way that people just really get so much out of them. So just want to sort of let you know about that. But now the question is, this is the question that we're asking you to put into the comments. Those of you that are watching right now, are you going to go and grab somebody and say, hey, you need to be watching this right now to get hold of one of these great prizes? But the question is, how can you make a difference this month in someone's life? How can you make a difference this month in someone's life? Come on, Larry, off the top of your head.
I can take a complete stranger out for a breakfast.
There you go. Take a complete stranger out for breakfast. I love it. That's fantastic. Very good. How many complete strangers have you got in your life at the moment?
We're always passing them, Sandy, but sometimes we ignore it.
Yeah. Now, see, there's a thing right there. There's a thing to get you right in the solar plexus. That one. Yeah, that's fantastic. It's very true, though, isn't it? How we just get so caught up in our world of everything else that's going on. You know, this afternoon, and I know it's kind of a bit of a sad note, but I actually had an opportunity to do a memorial service for somebody, and sadly, they'd passed on. They were of older age group, which is wonderful, and so they've passed on to be with God, and they believed in God. So we find that to be a terrific obviously comfort and strength in that regard. Someone has written here who you and I know very, very well. In fact, we might even ask him to come on and join us. He actually wrote, not giving them a ticket.
Thank you. Yes.
I might see if we can get him on just quickly.
He might be the first, mate.
Dear, that's funny.
Yeah, well, Sandy, just encourage everyone that's watching. Share this with your friends. Share this. Give people a bit of laugh at our expense. Let's put it this way. We're just two guys that want to share the love, share the fun, want to
Yeah,
encourage
absolutely.
lives, and hopefully give you some encouragement that you just don't have to be perfect. You just got to be you. We're just us.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. Hey, look, someone else has written too, Larry, here, which is a great thing.
Mhm.
Just this is fantastic. Support a friend while they do something to overcome their fear.
Excellent. Absolutely.
Wow, that's
Fantastic.
brilliant. That's better.
Well
It's
done.
much better than not giving people a ticket.
Yeah.
That's terrific. That's terrific. My
Yeah.
goodness. But anyway, it's wonderful. That's great. And look, for those of you watching along, please just put some other stuff on there. We are more than happy to get you into a great reboot or a great one of our programs. We would love to do that for you and everything else. And we've got answers too, by the way, for that. So we'll get to the answers at the end of the show for people that did that. And I think I know who they are. But anyway, just make sure you put your email address in there if we haven't already got it. And we will actually make sure that we get that prize and begin that prize getting out to you straight away. Now, Mr. Jack, who has been watching along,
Okay.
I've actually sent you a little note to come and join us if you can. If you can join us, that would be terrific. Thanks, mate. But anyway, all that said, let's leave that for the moment. If you can come and join us later, we'd love to. Let me jump into tonight's discussion around what we want to talk about. And the theme for this month has been the theme for this month. Oh, okay. All right. I need to just actually just give me 2 seconds again, guys, because I had an issue which I tried to send something to somebody and it didn't reach them properly. So I'm just going to try that again, just quickly whilst I do that. There we go.
Have a cup of tea. You got something to
Yeah.
drink? There you go. I'd want you to.
It has gone through again. If you're watching there, Mr. Jack. So very good. And getting some likes on there, which is great. Thank you so much, guys, for your feedback. I'm glad you're enjoying tonight, which is fantastic.
Yep.
Now, so I want to talk to you tonight about a subject which I believe is extremely important in the day in which we live, and even more so, like in terms of just what we've had to do in the last day, where we had to kind of pivot on, okay, we need to change up what we're doing and how we're doing it. Thus tonight, it's a little bit more informal, but of course a lot of fun that we're having as well for our online Gap Network show. And as we mentioned on the bottom there, 20 of the 4th is when we're doing it again. There's a great Bible story of a guy by the name of Caleb. Great name, by the way, Caleb. That's one of my son's names. And so Caleb was one of the sort of guys that was what I would just term as a go-getter. He was the kind of guy that hi, Sandy. Hey, Sandy from overseas, from over in Birmingham. Just saying hello to you there. And this guy, Caleb, was the kind of guy that was the sort of guy that you want alongside you if you're ever in a battle, if you're ever in a problem, if you ever, there are people in my life that I consider as people that if I was in a battle, if I was in a struggle, I would say, and I'd say Larry is one of those in my life, and I'm thankful for Larry, and I'm thankful for people like Larry as well. And I'm also thankful for this bloke. Mr. Jack, how are you? You're on, mate.
Oh, hello. How are you, mate? Long time no see. How are you, both?
Yeah. How you doing, mate? Good to see you. Good to have you on board this afternoon. But the guy that I was just started talking about, Chris, is he was this guy Caleb, and it says in this particular Bible story, and in the I guess the verse or the chat around that, it said this that when he was being explained to others, he was being explained to Moses, who was in the story, and he was being explained to other people by God. He said, "But my servant Caleb, he has a different spirit in him. He has a different spirit in him, and has followed me fully, and I'll bring him into the land where he went, and his descendants shall inherit it." So basically what the story was that at the end of the day, Caleb was this guy that actually had a different kind of way about him. He had a different perspective on life. He had a different way of looking at life, a different way of seeing life, and he was the kind of guy that you wanted alongside you. Now, Chris, seem we've jumped you on, mate. Let me just kind of put you into the mix here. Do you have people in your life that you can kind of say, if I needed something, if I needed something to happen, if I need, who's the sort of people? Do you have people in your life like that?
Yeah, it's I think the spirit of something is, well, on the spot, I suppose. I have people that I would go to for advice about complicated situations in my life.
Mm-hmm.
There's other people I would go to just to more on a surface basis, where I enjoy the spirit in them to just relax and be calm and have fun. So it's almost like, it's almost all bordering on the personality of the type of person with them. But I see what you was talking about with Caleb having a different spirit. It's like, it sounds like he might have had the spirit of, like the spirit as God would have, the spirit of being the agape love, encompassing everything in his completeness, that anybody could go to him and receive something from him, no matter where they came from, who they came from, or what background or whatever. Whereas there's other people who've also probably combined with, I don't know, maybe gifts, and they incorporate that in the way that they deal with people in this, like with their spirit. They've got gifts that enhance maybe their ability to do certain things with different people. So other people would be attracted to that type of person for this need, and other people for that need. And I think that's the gist I'm getting from what that scripture is saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's totally it. What do you think, Larry? Who's the different kind of spirited person in your life that perhaps you'd kind of look at?
Oh man, there is so many. I'll give you an example. And as you get older, it was put to me once, said, Larry, if you woke up in a desperate situation, absolute desperate, how many people would you call for them to come to your attention?
Yeah, right.
And I sat down, I was just thought to myself, well, gee, that's a tough question. Off the cuff. It was explained to me, it's like a dartboard, where you got your darts, you got your red dot in the middle. They're the ones that you would actually, if you needed help, it wouldn't matter. You've got that. And I'm taking family out of this, because it was also the thing about this, the people that are in your life that are closer than a brother.
Yeah.
I have those in my life. And the beauty of that is that was so true, because I actually talked to a guy who's passed now. He was 60 odd at the time. About friends, people that make a difference in your life that you call on, but you know that they're there, you talk to them, you interact well with them, you have a relationship with them, all those type of things. He said, he sat there for about 2 minutes. He said, I said, what, 65 years, and you've just got 2 people that you could. He said, yeah, I don't mix well with people. I have a bit of a short life. So to me, he wasn't making a difference. He could add so much of an opportunity to the people's lives that he came into with his gifting, is what you're talking about, Chris, Jack, that you have got a remarkable gift. Those people that are watching or are listening to us now, you've got to get the no-nos heads. You're so good at this. You make a difference in that area. That person might be struggling in that area, that you can actually talk to them and impart to them, give them information, detail, whatever words you want to call. And you can make a difference in their life, which they would have said, wow, I'm certainly glad I came across that person. I had no idea until I came across them that they knew about X, Y, Z and made a difference in their life.
Yeah.
So it's a long way.
That's the thing too, isn't it? It's a very good point that you bring up about people being ready to be different, but also looking for people that actually make a difference. So we've got to be ready to be different, but when we find people that do want to make a difference, who want to make their mark on life, that's actually really important to the whole process here of what we're talking about. The reality is that if we're going to be different, if we're going to be the people that we're meant to be in life, in business, in family, socially, physically, whatever, financially, of course, whatever, all those things, if we're going to be different, if we're going to do that, we need to find people who want to make a difference and then attach ourselves to those kinds of people as well.
Absolutely.
This guy Caleb that we're talking about here, that was pointed out, like it was clearly pointed out, this is the kind of guy you need to follow. This is the kind of guy you need to be around. We find ourselves in a world today, guys, where people don't know, right? They don't know who to hang around. Because, as you say, who you hang around, as we say, who you hang around is who you become.
Yeah.
This without going into detail, Chris, the challenge is that the people that you work with, the younger people that you work with, as to who they hang around is what they become and who they become, isn't it? Isn't that true?
Boy. It is, yeah, very much.
So,
Yeah,
we find. Go on, sorry, man.
No, you're right. Continue.
So we find ourselves thinking about here in this conversation about being ready to be different. We're talking about getting around people that actually make a difference, as opposed to being around the norm, being around the stuff that's kind of just, just whatever, mate. We'll just do whatever we need to do. But let me just give you a couple of points. I've got some points down here, guys, that I want to share with you, and we'll get you to jump in on some of those points as you feel like you want to jump in on as we talk about it. There was something very different about this guy Caleb, but what I wanted to do was actually look at it, because he was one of 12 people that went to check out where they were supposed to be heading. They were supposed to be heading into a land which was prosperous, wonderful, great place, great soil to grow things, etc., like a fruitful land, so to speak. But 10 out of
milk and honey.
Milk and honey, that was it. Yeah, milk and honey and massive grapes. I like the idea of massive big grapes. Yes, there you go. But anyway, so they were going to go into that land, but the reality was this, that as they were about to do that, 10 out of the 12 people that went in said, nah, can't do it. Nah, no good, etc., etc. But Caleb, this guy we're mentioning, and of course Joshua, who was another one that was there, both of these men, Joshua and Caleb, were found to be different. They had a different spirit found in them. They were the kind of people that wanted to make a difference. They were the people that we actually should hang around and be around. But here are some of the points that the 10 said that we need not be. All right. In other words, we're going to talk about these points and then say, let's not do this. All right. The first point was that they said it wasn't possible. They said it wasn't possible. Now, this is and I wrote this down as well. Impossibility is the language of those who do things no one else does.
Yeah.
Impossibility is the language of those who do things no one else does. Mm-hmm. Now, there are people in my life that I've seen do things that were absolutely impossible. And I've been able to, and privileged to, follow some of those sorts of people into various things. And there are things in my life that have been done that have been impossible too. And the thing about it is that if we consider things to be impossible, then we're already stopped. We're already at a halt. We've already come to a grinding, screeching halt. The whole thing is ended right there. Because the reality is this, that if we can't see the things that are possible, see that things are possible no matter what, then we're going to find ourselves in the place where, the challenges are such that we just can't see to get over the mountain. We can't see to get out of the ditch that we've dug ourselves into. We can't see us, getting over the top of that, of that ditch onto the dry land, or, whatever analogies you want to use on that. But the reality is this, that if we say things are impossible, then we're going to find ourselves in a place of impossibility, and that's how it is going to end. Larry, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, that's a choice you made by your confession out of your mouth.
Yeah,
Two
so
words,
true. Yep.
I can and I can't. Up to you. You think you can, you can. You think you can't, you can't. That's it. So he calls that impossible instead of possible. If you know, LJ, so it was possible, but not just possible to them. It was possible. We can.
Yeah, we can. Absolutely, we can.
Just relating it to, that's what a lot of people think. I
Yeah.
can, like, well, you're right both times. So
That's it. It's like the old, and I know it's a kid story, but it's a little engine that could, wasn't it? Isn't it the story? The little red engine that could.
Yeah, there's some younger ones watching, mate. So
yeah, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. It's a great story. Number 2. Let's look at number 2 here as we move on through, because we're talking about being different and being ready to be different. Let's look at doing things that are impossible. All right, let's look at that. Let's look at the things that are your dreams that seem like they're impossible. Let's look at the things that are your vision that you've seen for all your life, and you've maybe pushed them aside and you've said, I can't do this. Let's start looking at those things and saying, yes, it is possible instead. If you're thinking about that, put that a comment in the chat. If you're watching with us, it is possible. It's possible for me to have that dream. It's possible for me to do those things. Number 2, the obstacles were too big to deal with. The obstacles were too big to deal with. Now, the story goes that when they went in there, the 10 out of the 12 came back and said, oh, no, we can't do this because there's giants in the land. There's too big. The people are too big. They're too tough, too bigger warriors. We will never overcome this. We'll never do this. Again, it's about that impossibility, but the obstacles get in the way. Chris, talk to us a little bit about some of the obstacles that maybe have been in your life, of more recent times.
I think through life experiences, the older I've got, the more I've come to realize that you need to plan. You need to strategize. You need to discipline yourself to, when the obstacle presents itself before you, you look at it and immediately you look at it and go, whoa, I don't think I can handle this. But you have to take a step back, even if it's momentarily, and think about, well, if I was to tackle this, how would I go about it? And then you have to think, well, and then you have to start a plan. It's like, it's like Jesus said, how can somebody plan something unless he calculates the cost? So you've really got to draw back and then work out a strategy of, in your mindset, you've got to discipline yourself to think, well, yes, it looks big, but if I break this down, I can achieve it. Or you can look at the obstacle and go and have the mindset of, whoa, that's too much for me. That's too big. Next. And you'll divert from that and you'll not tackle that obstacle. I think it's life experience has shown me, I look back and see things that were presented to me back in my early days, like jumping out of aircraft and doing all sorts of things. Like, these are big, whoa, I've never done this before, but, okay, everybody else has done it before. This is what I need to do to be able to make it successful. Or even, buying a house first off. My first house was daunting because it was back in the early 90s or late 80s, early 90s. Never done it before. But I knew that I had to provide a place to live for my family. And so I just stepped out and said, well, I need a house. So I need to either save money, which I started doing. I need to get a better job, which I did. So I made these little steps in between going, well, the end goal was the house. That's the obstacle, was either live on, paying rent in a crappy old place we were living in, or do I provide a better place for my family to live by? And I had to do things to get that. So I needed to get my mindset into creating a strategy of how I was going to do it. And then once I had those things in place, that big obstacle of this getting this massive loan and this house didn't seem so big because it was possible.
Yes.
Through that strategy that I put in to my mind, I created that strategy to be able to then reduce the obstacle or diminish or reduce it, as in make it smaller.
Yeah, diminish it. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that's really the mindset we need to have. You can have this massive obstacle come before you and you think, man, that's impossible to get past that or to achieve that. It can be an emotional thing. It can be
that's
anything
right.
else.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, there's lots of
doesn't-
issues around these days with people in terms of their mental health and so forth. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and going back to what you were talking about, going to people that you know that you could receive something from with that spirit, then that's part of your strategy. Oh, I can't deal with this. Who do I know can help me with that? That's your first step in your strategy. Go to get help. That person can give you information, and then you have to act on that information and then do those things. So it's like you're creating another strategy.
Yeah.
To make this thing go smaller, so you can go, no, I can do this. It's not so big anymore because I've got the other tools
to actually do that. Yeah, and the steps in which to do it. That's definitely,
Yeah, I think with Caleb, the different spirit in him, that maybe he was probably one of the only two that had that mindset that were, well, okay, let's strategize this. We can do this if we go this way, this way, this way, and that way. Where the others just went, whoa, no, thank you. No, they're too big for us. They just saw one part of the problem or one part of the obstacle and didn't look at the other parts of the obstacle that maybe they could chip away at to make it smaller.
That's really good, Chris. That's a really good point. That's great. Just that whole thing there about chipping away at stuff. You're right. And they did. They only looked at one small portion of the whole issue rather than stepping back and looking at the whole thing and saying, we can get to this and this, and we can set plans and different things in place to make things happen and overcome and ultimately do what seems impossible.
Yes.
There's so much. That's powerful, mate. That's great. Let me just jump on quickly to point number 3. They had too many excuses. It's very easy to make up excuses. It's actually when we create excuses that we're already on the back down. We're trying to squirm out of what we know we should be doing in many cases. It's like you're saying before, Chris, about your family and doing stuff for your family. You could have easily said, oh, well, I can't really do that. I don't have the wherewithal. I can't do that. I can't get everybody out of the situation we're in right now. We can't do all that. How come it's up to me? How come I have to do it? And the question, we start to make excuses about, well, I'm not up for that sort of thing. I don't know anything about that. My parents didn't tell me that. My father, my mother, my whoever didn't tell me how to do such and such. No one told me that at school or whatever. All those kinds of excuses that we make to get us into the place of where we should, rather than getting back into the place where we should be and getting up to the things that God actually wants for us to overcome the obstacles and the impossibilities. Point number 4, they didn't want to fight the fight they should be fighting. Now, this is really important. Let me just, if you're honing in on stuff tonight as you're watching this is really valuable. This is going to be really valuable to you. Mind you, Chris, what you said before about chipping away at stuff, that's fantastic. But they didn't fight the fight they should be fighting. Guess what they did? They went away and they had a big squabble amongst themselves. And they started fighting with each other. Oh, no, we can't. No, we're going to go back. We're going to go back to Egypt. We're going to go back to this. Oh, what do we take out here? Oh, we don't like you. And started making all sorts of stuff and fighting internally to the point where they actually were not doing anything about moving forward at all, let alone not going into the what was known as the promised land. They weren't doing anything about that, but they were fighting fights that they shouldn't have been fighting. Instead of fighting the fight they should have been fighting, that was the fight to actually for their life, for their livelihood, for the generations to come, to overcome the obstacles and to be, the people that they needed to be. Larry, just give us a few seconds on maybe an example of fighting the fight or those kinds of things that have happened in your life.
Oh, my life. Oh, I'm going to relate to the story.
Oh, relate to the story. I don't care, but in your life as well. But it's good to have those personal stories as well.
Yes. I mean, so many things. Sometimes we get caught up in what we want to use as a excuse-itis, as I call it. Excuse why I can't. You know, I had it when I had a wonderful upbringing with my family, wonderful parents, just a lovely. I had everything that most kids would ever want. And I said to mother and father, I want to leave Australia, go overseas, and I'm going to find work over there, and I'm going to go leaving home. Well, they said, "What's wrong with you? What's going on? You know, you've got everything you need here. You're not there." But I wanted to go and do something for what I believed that I was led to do. So I didn't have any fear of failure or any fear at all, because I always put fear as false evidence appearing real. And a lot of people do fall into that trap. And
of course. Yeah.
I wasn't going to have that, because my intention was clear. And we talk about Joshua and Caleb, you know, they had the opposite of fear. They had faith.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally it. Yeah.
They're arguing because of their fear. They couldn't see past their fear. They're arguing about what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Instead of thinking to ourselves, aren't we a bit of this overdoing this all the time? Why don't we just cross over and get the land? It's been promised to us.
Yeah.
So
let's just get on with it.
The others listened to what the promise said. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to go by faith to go over there. They believed the promise. It's like, well, else you believed. You went out there. I know I've got to do this. I've got to do this. I've got to do this. You went out and did it. So
that's what you're saying there also just reminded me of something I heard many years ago. Was there are those who will sit back and do nothing. There are those who will sit forward and watch and see what's going on, and then there are those who actually get to action and get on with it. And I think, you know, in terms of what we're talking tonight about being ready to be different and to be a different kind of spirit within us, we need to be the people that are ready to step forward. You know, stop making the excuses, and, you know, again, just wrapping up that point is fighting the fight that we should fight. Not getting involved in other squabbles and other people's battles and other people's problems and other people's challenges, because it's very easy to get distracted with everybody else's problems, you know, because there are all sorts of other problems that other people have. but the reality is we need to actually fight the fight that we should fight and be involved in the things that are actually going to make a difference for us as far as they go. And finally, this is point number 5 on this one tonight, guys. Thank you so much for coming on, by the way, Chris. We really appreciate it. Thanks for jumping on at the last minute for us. We really appreciate that. Unfortunately, it looks like Scott somehow or other couldn't get on tonight. So we're going to actually put him forward to the Foundry, which we're going to be having in just a couple of weeks on the 20th of the 4th. So just so you realize that. Our first face-to-face meeting will be on the 20th of the 4th. Can't wait to actually have you there. We've got so many other great surprises and things to share with you, so just be there. But be quick, because we've already got a bunch of people already very much lined up to be there. So we look forward to having you there. But point number 5 here on Ready to Be Different is this. They gave up. They stopped. They came to a full screeching halt and said that all the excuses they were making, everything else that they said, finally, after they said it wasn't possible, finally, after they said the obstacles are too big, they made all sorts of excuses. They started fighting amongst themselves, and then they came to a screeching halt and said, this is it. We're not going any further. We're never going to go any further. And guess what happened to them? They never went any further. They kept going round and round in circles. And what happened was that they, and this is really important, they became the same as everybody else. You know how people talk about doing the same? You know, sometimes I ask people, you know, how's life going? Oh, same. And I keep saying to them, well, we'll have to change that. We have to organize to change that, because we can't afford to live our lives under the same approach. Because at the end of the day, there's a difference we're supposed to make. We need to be ready to be different, and we need to be ready to step forward and be different.
Yeah.
And that's one of the most powerful and wonderful things that you can do in life. If you're watching this now, if you're watching this later on, let me just say to you, don't give up. Don't give in to the things that are excuses and things that will hold you back from having a different kind of spirit about you, where people want to be around you, people want to be involved with you, people want to follow you, people want to be led by you, all of those things that actually did that. And Caleb was a classic example of that. He was one of the top leaders, and it was at the age of 80 that he started more battles to go on into that land.
Mm.
And it was a different. There's hope for it. There's hope for all of us sitting here tonight. So the reality is this. Hey?
Some of us are ways than others.
Yeah, some of us are. Yeah. But here's the thing.
You know this, Sandy, I'll say one thing about this.
Yeah, go.
Persistence has its own reward, and so does inertia. I select persistence.
That's it. Exactly. And look, while you're talking about inertia, I mean, that reminds me of that great word that starts with M and ends with M. Momentum.
That's right.
What a great word that is. You were thinking about mum, weren't you, Chris? So
the sound is breaking up.
was it? Okay.
Yeah, so all I got was something about Anita or something on there.
Okay,
Anita.
yeah, no, momentum.
Momentum, yes, I got that.
Momentum,
I think the one that Larry said. What did Larry say?
Oh, inertia.
Oh, inertia. Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
You're right. Now I got it.
So the reality is this: that momentum is what we're actually looking to be. If we are going to be different, if we're going to try, just step up to be different, the reality is this: that we have to step up, step out, and step on to the stage of life, as we call it, and start to create that inertia, that momentum, and be ready to be different, ready to be different, ready to be up and at 'em, as they say, to go for life and to go for the things of life. Well, hey, guys, look, thank you so much for being on tonight. Thanks for those that have been watching all the way through with us. We've had a heap of people on tonight at different times. Thank you so much for being involved with us on our Gap Network online show. For those of you that are locked down in COVID, we're praying that this will be quickly overridden within the next couple of days, so we can all get back to life in general being a little more normal again, as it has been starting to get to that way. But here we are at Easter again, finding ourselves with a little bit of a challenge in our way. But hey, the mountain is never too big to climb or to get over the top of. So let's do that.
Yep. And just right here, we've got to do the brain teaser answers, mate. We don't want to leave them in.
Now, brain teaser answers. Now, so we've got that. I know that Chris was actually making some comments about that earlier.
So just and whoever gets to get them up quickest on 3 correct answers after I've already given the correct answers.
All righty, so here we go.
So see for listening. The answer number 1. What has but cannot eat, moves, has no legs, has a bank, cannot put any money in? It's a river.
A river. There we go.
River.
Very good. Very good. Did you get that one, Chris?
Yeah. Of course he did. Arnold Schwarzenegger has a long one. Michael Fox has a short one. Madonna does not use hers. Donald Trump uses his, and the Pope never uses his. The answer is their surname.
Surname. I knew that one. See.
All right. Number 3.
Victoria Donaldson got that as well.
That's excellent. Good.
Well done, Victoria. Well done.
When young, I'm sweet. When I'm middle-aged, it makes me happy. When I'm old, I'm more valued. The answer is wine.
Wine. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
People would have other answers, but guess what? Our competition, there are answers.
There you go. Fantastic stuff. Well done, guys. Very good. Very good. For those of you that play along, we will find your details later and get you, apart from Chris, of course, we're going to bless him anyway, because we just like blessing Chris anyway. It's about time he shouted me. Actually, it's about time you shouted me a coffee, isn't it, Chris?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think it's
I'm working. Fridays are good for me because I'm working Monday to Thursdays now.
Good
Very
Friday.
I'm back at work. I'm back at work. Yeah. So.
Very good. So Good Friday is probably not quite the day we're looking for, but maybe the following one.
Maybe. I would
Maybe.
say so.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Larry, for your tongue twister, twisty two questions.
We'll get it out. It's all right.
Thingies. Ask Larry at ASKLARRY at, and then the symbol at gmail.com. So it's ask Larry at gmail.com. So call that, or contact us as we've got here through gapcoaching.com.au. Contact us to send us your questions or anything else we can do to help you.
Exactly.
That was my radio voice there for a moment. I'm sorry about that.
He's got a voice.
It's been great to have you on board. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We look forward to the 20th of the 4th when we're going to have our first live get-together. Get your names in quick. Get your details in quick through us, through that contact us, and we will get you on the list for our very first, finally, live face-to-face on the 20th of April. Thank you, Chris. What a great guy for jumping on in like that. You're a champion. Larry, you're always a champion. And for all of those champions that have been watching us, stay champion and get better, gain that momentum, get ready to be different. God bless and bye for now, everybody. See you soon.